Store Manager Colt Benson, and I'd like to welcome everyone to our Cornelius Walmart Preview Night. Before we get started, I wanted to recognize a few groups. So please have all elected officials either stand or raise your hand and recognize, please.
Elected.
Also, like all my associates, please raise your hand or stand. Over the past 8 weeks or so, the associates have learned how to do everything within this store. Anywhere from building fixtures to putting merchandise on the shelf, to flagging, tagging, signing, running registers, and they've done an excellent job. So please give them another round of applause. A little bit about Walmart, the company we work with. Walmart's a very large company, as everyone knows, right? Last year, they did $405 billion in sales. They have 8,400 stores worldwide, and they employ over 2 million associates. Very big company, but at the same time, I'm very proud that they pay special, close attention to individual stores. As the store that you see before us now, this beautiful store, about 4 or 5 years ago, Walmart paired with Cornelius city officials to start planning the store. Start planning the architecture that you see on the outside of the store, as well as the beautiful landscaping that you see to make it a beautiful place for the city of Cornelius. A little bit about what you'll see inside the store. It's a 154,000 square foot store. That's the reason why everybody's here tonight, to go inside it and see what all the hustle bustle's been about for the last few weeks. 154,000 square foot store. Inside you'll find a full line of groceries, including fresh departments such as bakery, produce, meat, and deli. You'll find service departments such as our vision center in the front of the store and our pharmacy. You'll also find 30 other retail departments for your one-stop shopping needs. Our associates have done a wonderful job putting this store together, and this is part of our appreciation night. We can come together, we can show off our store to our VIPs, and then we can also show it off to our families. Another thing that Walmart does within the community, and I get the pleasure of doing tonight, is giving out $24,000 to charities around the Cornelius area. Speakers for today, two of our local officials, City Manager Waffle and Mayor Bill Bash.
Thanks, Colt, and welcome everybody. Glad to be at this moment. It's been a long time coming, a lot of work by a lot of people. It's a milestone for Cornelius to open this store tonight. I'm going to go back and talk about some of the other retail milestones of Cornelius along the way back to our beginning. But before I do that, I want to talk about some of the effort that went into making this happen, because it takes a lot of partners. It takes a lot of people to develop a store, to speak up for the community, to build a community. I want to thank and recognize Richard Meyer, the Development Operations Director, and his staff. They're the ones that inspect this building, make sure it's safe for generations to come, approve and inspect the plans for all the public improvements, planning commission that saw that this was going to be a very, very different looking building for Walmart, a good looking building. Let's give it a round of applause for a good looking building. We also want to thank the Walmart staff, Colt Benson and his group, their public relations people, even their legal representation. They're really good guys. They've done a great job in being a partner. We want to thank the contractor. ESI has been great to work with. Very responsive. Their whole development team all the way through. We also then want to thank the City Council for the guidance in helping this come about, and the community for their support. Not every community embraces a store like this as Cornelius has. Thank you to the community. I'll step back in time. Cornelius was incorporated in 1893. About that time, we had a butcher shop, a blacksmith shop, 3 saloons, a livery, Heinrich's Hall, the Kime and McNutt stores. Shortly thereafter, the city incorporated. We had 4 doctors. Somebody opened up a pharmacy. We have a pharmacy here in this store. We had other businesses too. We had a winery, a cider mill, a pickle factory. We don't have a pickle factory in cider. All right. We've got a couple of creameries, a sawmill, warehouses, and general stores. We're continuing that general store approach. Many of the businesses were located along the Tualatin River because in those days, goods came to Cornelius on the river boats. And Cornelius was the furthest upstream that the river boats came. That's why we have Steamboat Park. Eventually the railroad got built. We had railroads on the south and north, eventually highways. The railroads that came to town brought in goods and carried away wheat. We looked up some of the history of the community, and in those days the wheat wagons would line up, and it was a big day when there were 3 blocks of wheat wagons ready to unload their wares to ship back out down to Portland. Because this was the end of the line. There was a turntable, and the trains had to turn around and head back to Portland. By 1913, we had 3 newspapers in town. We're still served by several, and we appreciate them. Hank's started their first general store that became Hank's Thriftway. You now know it as Grande Foods, the largest Hispanic grocer in the state of Oregon. They cater to this market. They know how to adapt to fit this marketplace and still offer basic groceries. In the 1980s, we reached a milestone as Fred Meyer came to town. And that gave us a great anchor, and it will continue to serve this community and complement what's here at Walmart. They started Cornelius Days with a barbecue, a fireworks show, a mini carnival. In those days, and they were the first grocery store open until 11 o'clock. That was a big deal. Now we've got a 24-hour store, so if you can't get in tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock when things open up, you can come back at 2 a.m. and get that box of Wheaties. In those days, we even had a Cornelius drive-in. Anybody remember the Cornelius drive-in?
Yeah, I miss it.
There we go. There we go. We've got a good cinema with 9 screens now. Also in the 80s, the Junior Garcia Clinic came to town. That was significant. They started with 4 doctors to serve the underserved population of Cornelius. They now serve 5 communities. The Chamber of Commerce was formalized to promote business growth because in the early 80s, Oregon went through a recession, and this was a tough place to be. But the community has pulled together, and now we're reaching another milestone. Just to give you a contrast, we reached into our scrapbook. We looked at grocery prices in 1962, and some of you will remember what things cost in 1962. And if not, I'll tickle that memory of yours. You buy a quart of mayonnaise for 49 cents, Crest toothpaste for 69 cents a tube. For $1, you can get 5 pounds of honey or 7 pounds of margarine. I don't know if they've got quite that low prices in here today, but I know they're going to come close. Peanut butter was 3 pounds for $1.19. A dozen eggs for 45 cents. They might match that on a good day. And you can get 4 bars of ivory soap for 29 cents. 4 bars. You could get a buy on steak in 1962. T-bone steak was 89 cents a pound. and fryers were $29. And then canned corn, beans, or peas, $6 for $99. We're standing in front of the low price leader, one of the big one of the captains of that industry right here in Walmart. I hope you'll enjoy this store. It's a good fit for Cornelius. Welcome, Colt, Walmart staff, and community. Thank you all very much. I'm going to introduce one of my bosses here, Bill Bash.
Inviting us here to speak tonight. First thing I'd like to do is, Dave's already kind of beat me to it, but again, I'd like to welcome Walmart to the community of Cornelius. It's great to have you here, and we're looking forward to a wonderful partnership with Walmart in this community. I also want to thank all the Walmart employees for coming over tonight to this community, so welcome. And also all the visitors that are outside of Cornelius and inside Cornelius. Thank you very much for coming tonight. Very momentous occasion for our community. As you know, political people like to talk a lot, and I've been limited to 2 pages, so hopefully I can read them fairly fast, and I won't make too many errors. One thing I want to say is that I'm really happy to celebrate Walmart's first store opening in Washington County. Today is a result of a lot of hard work on the part of a lot of people. There were market studies that were done around the area here. There were private investments that were made. There were public presentations and hours of analysis. There was public debate. I was chairman of the Planning Commission at the time. I can guarantee you that there was plenty of debate, and informed decisions were made. There was deliberate, smart development of a retail center, related and public improvements that will add value to the city of Cornelius for years and years and years to come. And one thing I want to say is, look what Walmart's already done in contributing to our community. It doesn't look like a box store to me. If you look at this store, I think we get a piece of wonderful architecture in our community. Walmart's listened to what our Community Planning Commission wanted and proposed a store plan that was compatible to the community needs. They designed an attractive store with landscaping that takes care of stormwater runoff, softens the appearance of the pavement, and includes a public pathway along the boundary with Forest Grove instead of a wall in the back. Walmart listened to what our city council wanted and mitigated zoning and traffic impacts not only by improving our immediate public streets and utilities, but also sharing the cost of reconstruction substandard public facilities, including our Terry Brook stormwater system just south of here. The Portland Western Railroad crossing north of here, and the highway intersection on 10th Avenue to the east, and Pacific Street to the west. These things will be done. We're still working in improving our street systems, and in part thanks to Walmart. Walmart listened to what our community wanted and has joined the Cornelius Chamber of Commerce, the Oregon Food Bank, the Westside Economic Alliance, and is investing today in important local service organizations. Some wonderful checks to be handed out shortly. Cornelius is a proud, bootstrapped community with more people who work and want to work than there are jobs available right now. Walmart has brought us 320 jobs, most of which are filled with Cornelius residents who will no longer have to make long, costly journeys and having pollution and so forth, emitting from exhausted cars. They can easily come to Walmart either by walking, bicycling, or very short